and Diversity Dialogue. We are thrilled to have you here, and today I am thrilled to introduce our moderator, Ms. Narissa Knight, from the CW33's Eye Opener. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It's a pleasure to be here with you, to be a part of Congresswoman Bernice Johnson's 7th Annual Youth and Diversity Summit and Diversity Dialogue. To tell you a little bit about myself, I've been doing news for some 17 years, from Los Angeles to Dallas, Chicago, Milwaukee. I've come in contact with a lot of people. I've interviewed 5 presidents, stars, you name it. Interviewed them, sat down with them. But there are some stories that are not so told that you may want to hear. A story about a little girl that I tried to resonate and use in daily life. There was a little girl whose mother was in college when she found out that when she went to the doctor about being pregnant, had stage 4 cancer, and the doctor said you'd be given 6 months to live if you have this baby. If you don't, you could possibly live, but you have a major tumor. Well, she said, no matter what, I'll go ahead and live. Well, the little girl and the mother ended up living in the projects, even though the mother had a master's degree. She went from foster home to foster home, one state to another, in and out of different homes and situations. The mother died at 6 years, so it was 6 years instead of 6 months. She lived in Dallas, Texas, Marshall, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, Sheboygan, Wisconsin, all over the place. And she went through a lot of things. I mean, growing up without a mother, no father, never having a sister or a brother, and in different situations it was difficult. But she kept hope, dreams, perseverance, and ended up doing okay. And I tell you that story only to let you know that that's my story. That little girl is me. And I'm here to tell you that keep whatever it is that you have focused on, your dreams, your aspirations. Don't let whatever you're going through right now hold you back or deter you. Stay the straight and narrow. Stay on that path, because if you're working towards something better, don't let things that are going on right now keep you back or hold you back. Even when I was your age, I remember writing poems. I used to talk to kids my age at the time. And it was, you are young and bright. You should be striving to reach the highest heights. You should be wanting to know, wanting to go, wanting to be, wanting to see, wanting to show, wanting to tell, sharing with others what you do well, wanting to learn and yearning to earn to the future. My young brothers and sisters, you are today's tomorrow. Just keep that in mind when you go throughout this day with everything that everyone's here to do with this summit. And we'd like to thank one of the first people that we're going to introduce today. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gerald Turner. Now, Dr. Turner has had decades of service in education. And without further ado, we just want to thank him. He's the president of Southern Methodist University here and a strong supporter of this 7th Youth Summit and Diversity Dialogue, Congresswoman Bernice Johnson. And with him, we've seen exponential growth here at SMU. So impressive. The unveiling of Bush Library, just so many things. Without further ado, Dr. Turner.
Thank you. When you mentioned that small town in Wisconsin, I thought, this may be your story. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that little town. Having grown up in a little town, when I tell people where I'm from, they basically, nobody knows. And if they do, that means they're from a little town around, too. But all of you are from around in Dallas, and we're delighted to have you here as a part of this summit that Congresswoman Bernice Johnson, an SMU alum, puts on, the 7th one. I think this is the 6th time that I've been here to introduce it. I've forgotten what prevented it one time, but I always like to come over and say hello to all of you, and also to honor her. We named her a distinguished alum a couple of years ago. We had the event in Washington where a lot of the leaders of our country were there to help salute her, and for us to honor her as a distinguished alum of SMU. She got her master's degree here just 2 or 3 years ago. Obviously, we like to have students come to campus. We have an initiative for Dallas students, area students. We have a fairly large number on our campus. If you're not familiar with SMU, it's large enough to have big programs, but small enough to really give individual attention, 1 to 11 faculty-student ratio. But we have 1,400 first-year students, 300 transfers each year, so we have 6,200 undergraduates and 4,800 graduate professionals, so 11,000 is that size year in, year out. We don't try to get bigger, we just try to get better. The new construction you see is just for to help us do things better. Right now, all of that south of the Bush Presidential Center is for us to be able to have a second-year residency requirement. Right now, only first-year students are required to live on campus. Many live on campus all 4 years, but we don't have very much room, so it's very competitive to stay on after your sophomore year. So in the fall of 14, all students will be able to stay and be required to stay on campus for 2 years. That's really, we think, related to good achievement and those kinds of things. And all of it is to set up a living learning environment to make sure students continue to achieve. And you wouldn't be selected for this program if you weren't an achiever and a leader. And those are the kinds of programs and the kinds of students we like to have visit us on our campus. One of the things that we try to do is make sure that we have an impact on Dallas. And so although we try to get students from all over the world, about 90 foreign countries in every state, we really try to make sure that we focus here in Dallas also. So if you look at our whole student body, 25% are minority students, and there's a concentration within African American and Hispanic students from this part of the state of Texas. The Asian students tend to come a lot from the West Coast and other areas, but nevertheless, we're delighted to have everybody on campus, and everybody contributes to it in a very important way. The president of our student body this year is an international student from Mexico, and so we've got a lot of leadership opportunities from students wherever they reside. One of the things that we have been always proud of is the success of our alums, and whether they come as undergraduates or graduates. And obviously, as I mentioned before, Congresswoman Bernice Johnson has been a great friend to this university, but a great friend to the people of her district in Texas and, in fact, our country. There are very difficult challenges now, and if we don't train good leadership that can work with people from all backgrounds, which is the theme of this conference, then this country is going to have an even more difficult time maintaining its international leadership. So I know that you'll be learning a lot today and inspired in important ways, and so we're glad that it's happening at SMU, and we're glad that it's sponsored by Congresswoman Bernice Johnson. So thank you for being here, and thank all of you for the success of this program. Thank you. Well, I'd have given you a harder introduction. If I'd known I was going to do that, I thought she was going to. That was an indirect one.
Thank you so very much, and let me express my appreciation to the university for hosting us once again. From the origin of this program, we have had it here at SMU. And I take full responsibility that my office was a little derelict this year in not having more diversity, the real core and meaning of this program. Let me welcome two of our local leaders, our county judge, and your name is a favor.
That's all right, Congressman Rob Frank, you can see your head.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Frankie has been mayor of City Hill, I'm delighted. And I'm delighted to see parents here as well, with the students, and I'm grateful to all the people who will be here at the program. Most of them, and I want you to meet my staff. One is up there behind that camera. And why don't the rest of you stand? The reason I especially want you to meet the staff is because I try to live what I preach. And so I want to show you my diversity. I don't know what happened to these but Fatima and Rob and Escobar, Colin and Marcus up there, we have Muslim, Jewish, Christian, and plain old Baptist. and there's Joe and Reggie. And these are all people from the district office. And we have the same diversity in Washington. Sometimes it goes back and forth, but for the most part, I love diversity. There's Shereen. Shereen is our newest here. She's Iranian American and is an SMU master's degree person. So we're delighted to have her join us. I say this and I make a point of this because we live in one of the most diverse areas in the country. And until we learn to celebrate that diversity, we are missing what meaning that has for this nation and how much talent we can harness for our leadership. America is like a magnet. I don't care where you go in the world, there are people desiring to come to America. But you know, you can go to every embassy in the United States and there's no line of people trying to get out. They want to come. And it's been that diversity that has made this nation great. Learning about each other's backgrounds and cultures is such a pleasure to me. And this is the one job that has given me the opportunity not only to travel the world, but travel around the world right in this area. And looking at the contributions that everyone can make. Because there is an opportunity if you make it, and if you take advantage of that opportunity. So we're delighted that you have come. And as I look out, I know that I'm looking at future leaders of the nation. If you're not going to be one, leave now. Because this is for leaders. We want you to think leadership. We want you to focus. Our nation needs your talent. And you can do it. And I'll go back a long time ago when I was growing up in Waco, Texas. My father used to say, put your mind to it. You can do it. And I was grown before I really realized what he was talking about. But he had another motto. Once a task has begun, never leave it till it's done. Once a task has begun, never leave it till it's done. You are now students. The task ahead is not only to be just a good student, but go on into graduate school and prepare yourself. And don't think that's too big a job. Put your mind to it. You can do it. This year, we have chosen to name this session Generation Y Starts with You. And I hope that by the end of the day, you will see how important you are for the future of your community, your state, and your nation. You have to recognize that you can't look to everybody else's leadership. You're it. So be a good one. Prepare yourselves to be a good leader. Where else do we look for leaders? Remember, I said I'm from Waco, Texas. And I was born in Waco over 70 years ago. And looking at me should tell you something. It should tell you that if I can get to where I am, you can too. Opportunities are better. Support is better. You really don't have an excuse. You just heard our moderator share with you her story, which is very brave and also very meaningful. Because it tells you that yes, you can. Set your goals and then focus on getting there. You know, many times when young people don't reach their goals, it's because they have been deterred by another young person. And if you are deterred by another young person, that means you're giving them more control of you than you have of yourself. Never allow someone that's pulling in a negative fashion control your desires, your focus, your study, your achievement. Because as you achieve, you will become more valuable to yourself and to your community. Just think, if everyone waited for somebody else to do it, where would we be? But if everyone decided that they're going to do their part, we would be a little further along than what we are now. But we're not going to crowd the past. We're going to focus on the future. Our energies will go toward making a better democracy. And you know, our democracy is over 300 years old. And we've worked on it every day. Democracy is not perfect. It is what people make it. You are part of those people. It's a living document that you work on every day. And sometimes we don't recognize how precious our democracy is until you visit other countries sometimes. So you look at Egypt now. So you look around the world. Places that I have been and places that I go, working with the Humpty Dumpty Institute out of the UN and various other groups, working with governments, trying to explain the value of democracy. A form of government that I was born into. And it's a moving government. It is what the people make it. Your part is as important as anybody else's. So make up your mind today that you'll take advantage of these great workshops and commit yourself to being a person who can add positively to your community, to your state, to your nation, and probably to the world, because we are so global now that it's very difficult to achieve and stay in one country. I've been very proud to represent our nation in science at the European Union and other worldwide scientific gatherings around the world. And sometimes I sit there and look at leaders around the world and think, I'm from Waco, Texas. Born in a very, very segregated environment. Left at 16 years old to travel to South Bend, Indiana, to go to college. A totally new environment. But my mother and father kept saying, put your mind to it. You can do it. And even though they're both now deceased, both lived, one lived, my mother lived to 97, my father lived to 71. Both determined that their children would get the best they could offer so they could make a contribution to the nation, to the community, to the state. I'm grateful to them. Because when I went back to a class reunion about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And you know, I took my class books because I knew that I would probably not remember many of my classmates. Many of them recognize me because they see me a little more often than I see them. But it was quite a visit and really quite a trial to go back to meet with and dialogue with high school classmates. Because I graduated from there over 60 years ago. And I really needed that yearbook to know who I was talking to. And so as you listen to an old woman, keep in mind that sometimes elderly people can give you good advice. So I thank you for being here. I am excited about your future because when I look out and see you, I know that we're going to have good leadership. And people ask me all the time, they'll say, oh, I don't want to retire, but when are you going to retire? And I said, I really don't know. It's going to be when I can consult with a lot of people. And then I think about, have I influenced enough people to bring me what I want to see in the future? Now, I'm looking at your faces today and saying to you, I want you to take my place. I want you to understand that diversity is a source of learning, a source of appreciation, and a source of the greatness of this nation. Let's celebrate. I know today we have 2 special students, and that's a part of our diversity. They're special students. But you know what? I've learned that everybody has something to offer. Give direction, ask for focus. I have in my Washington office a young man who came from Florida, who was born albino, who has no pigment. And I'm inspired because he's doing a great job. When he picks up a piece of paper, he has to do this to see. But he is so focused on achievement. So when he walks with his guide cane and is extremely independent, then he encourages me to understand that if you focus, put your mind to it, you can do it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Such wise words that we should all heed. And you look so good and so young, and you can't believe the numbers that you threw out there for us. It was so amazing. And so many of your messages remind me of my grandma in Arkansas, who helped raise me those. Don't sit back and expect things to happen. Stand up and make them happen. Without further ado, our next guest is our keynote speaker, Mr. Benji Gil. And Mr. Gil is a former Ranger. Benji Gil is in his first season as an analyst of the Texas Rangers Spanish radio broadcast, and he also makes personal appearances on behalf of his local club. And the Tijuana native, Tijuana, Mexico, of course, it had a .237 average with 32 homers for you sports fans, in case you want to know, and 171 RBI in 604 career Major League games. He was selected by Texas in the first round of the June 1991 draft out of Castle Park High School in Chula Vista, California. And it's big feat coming out of high school. And he won the Rangers shortstop job in 1993 at the age of 20. He also returned to the majors in 1995 and set career highs with 9 homers and 46 RBI in 130 games with the Texas Rangers in 2000. He also has played winter ball in Mexico for several years, and even played one game for the Fort Worth Cats, an independent North American League, in the 2012 season. And Benji moved to Texas during his years with the Rangers, and he liked it so much, he decided to make it home and complete your stay here and be with us. And of course, you reside in Keller with your wife and 2 sons. We'd like to welcome Mr. Gil.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I am very excited to be here. It's fun. I always think that it's really fun to talk about the past, but it is really exciting to speak about the future and to talk to who is our future, which is you guys here. For the things that I do, even when I'm on the radio, now I do, I should mention radio, I try and reach out and speak to you guys about situations of what my job entails, which is baseball, but also in life. There is, you guys inspire me. Your future inspires me to continue to want to learn and educate myself in every way that I can. And when we talk about diversity, I think it all starts in our minds. if we're diverse in the way we think, I think it makes us, gives us better opportunities to be, grow, to learn. Because one of the things about, that I use as a model of mine, I believe that when you start learning or you think you know it all, that's pretty much when it's done. If you think you know it all, I'll tell you right now, I'm inspired because of some of the things that I've heard today. I feel that I've learned. I feel that just with today, I've grown. I've listened to all three of you speak, and it reminds me of things that have happened in my life and things that I want to achieve, things that, and it's all, I'm just talking about me, but I think it's within all of it. There's one thing I tell my children, and I coach little kids, my son's teams, and this is one main message I do want to share with you guys. And I'm pretty sure that some of us older people believe this. We're all born to be great. We can all be great. We're born. Big man upstairs has a plan for all of us to be great. It's all within you if you want to achieve greatness or not. Greatness will take a lot of hard work, dedication, and stay the course. You will have difficult choices. We all do. Some people have obviously can get sidetracked or have more roads, I guess, different roads that can lead you off of that path to greatness and stardom and to the end goal is whatever your dream is. And whenever you achieve your dream, whatever that may be, that's when you achieve greatness. For some people, it may be to be a doctor. Some may be to be president of the United States. Whatever it is that your goal in life is, or whatever you dream or aspire to be, there will be bumps in the road. Some people, when they hit those bumps, they get off the road. And then the opportunity to achieve greatness, or to achieve their dreams, they're gone. They're done. Those bumps in the road should make you stronger. If you can, maybe, what's the word maybe ride those waves, or get past those bumps in the road, they should make you stronger. You will encounter people that will tell you, I promise you will encounter probably more people that will tell you you cannot achieve than the ones that are going to tell you that you can. For me, I'll tell you a little bit about my story, and I'll lead into one of the most ignorant things that was ever said to me while growing up playing in Tijuana. I'll tell you guys a little bit. So I grew up in Tijuana. My goal since I was, my dream, I should say, since I was 5 years old was to play Major League Baseball. It was my dream. I used to collect baseball cards. I used to go and watch older kids play. I used to go watch the Mexican League team play. Whenever I get a chance, I'd beg my parents to take me to go watch the San Diego Padres play. I'd beg to go early so I could go and watch the guys. I'd take batting practice and I'd be able to say hi to a guy or two. Having said that, it was my dream. And when I was able to go and watch the Padres play, it just seemed, I had a chance to meet a couple guys. One guy actually gave me a wristband once, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But even though I got to shake hands, I got to say hi and ask for autographs, it did not seem real. It was still a dream. It just seemed so far out of reach. And I remember people telling me, you know what, there's never been somebody from Tijuana making the big leagues. as close as we are, because it's a border, for those of you who don't know, Tijuana is a border town, as close as you are to San Diego, where there's there's literally a major league team that from the border is not even 15 miles away. And they're like, it's not possible, it's not gonna happen. There's been so many great players from Tijuana, and nobody's ever made it. What makes you think that you can make it? And I said, I'm not saying I think I can make it, I'm saying this is my dream, and I'm gonna try hard. I mean, I wouldn't argue with them, in my mind, I just knew it was my dream, and I was gonna do whatever it took to at least give myself a chance. So, as I'm growing up in Tijuana, people are saying, no, you'll never make it. Nobody's ever made it. I started going to school in San Diego. I go to high school. And as my scholastic career is taking place, I become a prospect. I'm getting quite a bit of attention from different colleges. Even though I said you never recruited, but they didn't have a baseball team, so I don't know. I did start to get a lot of attention from different colleges from around the country and teams. I didn't want to go to college, but I don't know if you guys were getting a lot of attention. My dream was never to play college baseball. My dream was to play Major League Baseball. So, but I would go and get my education, go to college, if the opportunity arose, or I should say, if the opportunity to go to the major leagues for professional baseball did not arise. So, I thought as time as my career was progressing in athletics, I saw that it was more possible to make it to the major leagues. I'm like, well, this could happen. It's this dream. It was almost like I was starting to wake up from this dream. In a good way, not the ones that you don't want to wake up because there's a monster coming at you. Right? It was something that was about to happen. I could almost taste it. And I get this scout, who's the head scout. I don't remember his name, but I can see him. I mean, if he walked in the door, I'd know who he was. Comes to me and almost like tries to stomp. At the time, I'll tell you, I was a shortstop and a pitcher when I was in high school. He wanted to draft me as a pitcher. So he tells me, what's that shoe you wear? And I said, 11 and a half. He goes, oh, you can't play shortstop. Your feet are too big. And I'm like, my feet are too big? What are you talking about? I mean, what sense does that make? Oh, no, there's never been a shortstop that's ever had feet that big. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'll cut off my toes if I have to. If it's the shoe size, I'll do whatever it takes. And I tell you that story because it was a negative comment to make somebody, to try and take me off of my path. Somebody that you could really, as a player, you could look up to, somebody that you were trying to impress because, hey, I want you to want me to come and play for you. And I just looked at it and said, okay, I could have taken it as a negative, and maybe in athletics because, and baseball in particular, you learn to accept failing, and you understand, as a baseball player, if you're great, you're going to fail 70% of the time. If you harp on that 70%, you don't acknowledge that you were great because you did it right 30% of the time. So what I did when I took in the comments, I digested them, and I said, you know what, this is positive for me. These negative comments, and whenever I heard them, that guy helped me. That scout probably helped me more than he could have ever if he would have said something positive. Because to me, all of a sudden, that became my fuel was other people's negativity. If somebody tells me, you can't do this, okay, you are now making me work harder. I wouldn't say thank you, of course. Somebody tells me you're not very good, I wouldn't say thanks, but it gave me reason. In the off season, people that sometimes will say, or there was a columnist that said negative things, or for me, that was the reason when I'm working out. If it was doing 3 sets, that was the reason I did the 4th set. Or if I was supposed to run 10 laps, well, that's the reason I ran 12 laps. So whenever somebody's trying to bring you down or shoot you down, use that as a positive so that you can achieve your dreams, so that you can achieve greatness. And I've been very fortunate in my profession to be around players that were great. I by no means was great, but I was very fortunate to be around great athletes and great human beings. And you know what? It's no coincidence that most of the great athletes are great people. And when they're done with their athletic career, they prove their greatness because they try and help people like you, young children, or, well, you guys are teenagers, but, because you guys, again, like I said, the reason I was so excited about today is because you guys are the future. There's nothing better than to talk about. It's, like I said, it's fun to talk about the past. I'm having fun talking to you guys about some of the things that I have lived through. But it's so exciting to talk about the future and the different opportunities that arise. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I thought, man, it would be really cool to get into broadcasting or something like that. That was years ago. If you'd asked me 9 months ago before I got a call for an offer to be, I mean, it just wasn't in my plans. But somebody called me, I hadn't done it. And I said, you know what? Why not? It might be a great opportunity, it might need something. And now, my goal isn't to get back to the big leagues, is to go to a major network. And you just have to continue to grow. Don't be satisfied at any point in your life, because, again, same type of rule. If you get satisfied, you get complacent. And then you will stop working as hard as you will not work as hard as you can. Like I know my boys and their friends, it's tough. It will be tough to achieve greatness. But I promise you that when you do achieve greatness, in whatever walk of life you choose, or you have a dream of being great, when you achieve it, you will never be more proud of yourself than that day. And when you do achieve it, you will also want to work harder. It's not a satisfaction of, oh, I made it. It's the type of situation that you will, because you achieved it, you inspire almost yourself, and you're going to inspire other people that are looking up to you, or that have gotten an opportunity to be there along the way when you achieve whatever dream that you have. When you achieve it, you're going to pull people with you in a positive way. Okay, so you guys are the future, and hopefully someday you guys will be speaking to my children. Thank you, and I'll open up for questions. If anybody has any questions about baseball, broadcasting. Oh, and I must tell you, my proudest moment is the only thing that wasn't with the Texas Rangers, it was with the Rivals. I did get a chance to be a part of a great team in which we won the 2002 World Series, which the only thing that's sad about that is that it's been 11 years ago, and that reminds me how long ago it was. But if you guys have any questions about anything, we can open it up to questions if you guys would like.
Very much, Benji. Very inspirational there. Very good message about not believing when someone tells you you can't. Prove it to them that you can. Be strong and and work towards those dreams no matter what they say. And I remember growing up with everything I owned in a suitcase, a pleather bag, and going from one home to another, never having my own room. Now I own 20 homes that are paid for, including one in the major city of, it's in Lake Ridge, Cedar Hill. So, and that's from starting my own business on the side, real estate, as well as doing broadcast journalism since I was 19 or 20, when I didn't have money for books, didn't have money for gas. The station is here, 80 miles away, live here, and then 40 miles on the other side of that is school. But you can make it happen. Oh, there's no way you're going to make it from Ballard, Arkansas, do TV news, or you used to live on the corner of Hatcher and Bradshaw in South Dallas. How are you going to do the news? Oh, you can do it. You can do it. I did it at KNBC in Los Angeles. You're coming from Tijuana, Mexico. You made the serious. Well, look at that ring. He's got bling, you know? Come on now, you can do it, and that's why the Congresswoman is here. Contact. So many people are here to prove to you, to encourage you, to let you know that you can. Because we want to see you make it, because that means that we did our part in helping see you through, helping inspire you. That's just our goal. All right, without further ado, our next guest is Naveed Patel. Now, he's regarded as an experienced management consultant executive with experience spanning healthcare, public, financial, telecommunications, retail, and education industries. Now, Naveed provides direction and thought leadership to deliver bottom-line results, and his work has yielded results assisting his clients in increasing performance while reducing expenses. His broad technical knowledge, combined with a strong background in solutions implementation, has resulted in measurable results for clients across multiple industries. Naveed is known as a subject matter expert in infrastructure, telecommunications, and financial industries, and works to advise clients while helping to solve their most complex business problems. Welcome.
Let's start off by thanking Congressman Johnson's office and staff for having us. We could stand here and talk about diversity for the entire day, which we were intending on doing, right? I can talk about a young child coming from Pakistan with immigrant parents, living in north side of Chicago, no means to very good education, or means to buying Nikes that we wear and enjoy today. And I'm not going to say how many years, but you look into the future, into a executive management consultant who advises Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies on what their executives need to do and should do as they continue to grow their business. So let's think about that, right? And how important diversity is. To understand diversity, in my opinion, we really have to change the way we think. We have to think about not as diversity, but as pluralism. It's not the negative connotation that's attached to diversity, but all the positives that's attached to diversity, and what we learn from the positives. When I was 10, I weighed 70 pounds. Short kid, 6th grade, got picked up. Well, I learned something from it. Potato chips and soda can help. But don't do that, right? That's the result. But you have to learn. You have to learn from everything that's available that's in front of you. Let me share a story. Chevrolet, right? They introduced a car. The best experts, engineers designed a car, and they called it Chevy Nova. We'll release it out in the market without realizing the impact of that car. Without realizing that in Spanish, it means it doesn't go. So apparently, of course, that car didn't do too well in Spanish-speaking countries. So what is the biggest mistake that the executives and leaders of that company did, right? They failed to understand diversity, they failed to understand pluralism. So as we sit here today and spend the day, and not just the day, our lives, right? And I know we talked about, Congressman Johnson talked about it, everyone here talked about it. That's not just about diversity, it's building future leaders. And you as leaders have to put on that. You as leaders have to change the way we think, the way we operate. And we have to think about the why. And before we think about the why, we really have to think about, as leaders, as professionals, as people, we have to be students before we are ever leaders. Good leaders are not the ones that sit on a throne or command an army. They inspire people. and inspire people because they're students first. As he talked about, right? Hey, I'm here learning today, and he's inspired today. So am I. We're all inspired today. We're all learning today. And every morning, every day when we wake up, when I wake up, my goal is to learn something new. And we have to. We can never get complacent. We can never get comfortable. We can never say, I've learned. I know everything there is to know. That does not happen. We have to be students. We have to be great students. And we have to know how to unlearn. That is one of the key properties of being a good student. Not only know what you know, but also know what you need to unlearn. So with that, let me share a story. How many of you know Samuel Paramount Langley? Anyone? Not a single person. Because he was driven by the wrong things. Samuel Paramount Langley was well-funded, had all the right market conditions when man was trying to achieve flight. He had $50,000 from the State Department to go ahead and learn, figure out how to create a flying machine. He had New York Times chasing him everywhere he went. He had all the smartest mind, all the smartest brains in the industry helping him come up with his flying machine. But do we know about him? No. We know about the Wright brothers. Because Wright brothers had the dream. Wright brothers had the inspiration. Wright brothers had the drive. They funded their experiment with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Every single member of that team was there because they believed they could change the world. They believed they could make an impact. They believed they could make a difference. They took multiple spare parts every day when they attempted flight. And here we are, a few hundred miles away from Samuel Paramount Langley, two brothers with no college degree achieved flight. And the world never heard about it. Well, the world heard about it a few days after when they saw the recording of the flight. So you have to think about that. You have to think about that dream. You have to think about, I can do it. I can make it happen. That's when Congresswoman talked about, she dreamed. She wants to make a change. We all talk about that when we have that dream, when we have that inspiration, that I can truly make an impact. We can be the Wright brothers without having all the means available and accessible to us as we continue to grow. So when we think about that, we really have to think from inside out. Most of us we think from outside in. We think about what I need to do, who am I, and why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Now, it's easy. I can do that, right? I'm a human being. I'm a Pakistani American. I want to be successful, and I want to make more money. Okay, what does that mean, right? Will that really give me inspiration to achieve what I need to achieve? Maybe. But if I flip my thought process, and if I start from the why inside out, when I say, I want to be a leader, I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference not in this world, not just people around me, not just the community, but world, right? So when I think about that why, then I know what I need to do and how I'm going to get there. That's when you can have a path that's cut out for you. That's when you can truly map out the path to success. Really always think about it. And I asked the question this morning to the students that were there, and then what are you looking to get out of this session? Why are you here? Right? We really have to focus on that. Are you here because our parents have asked us to come? Or are we here because I truly want to learn something? I truly want to be that individual. I truly want to be that leader who will develop and who will work towards changing the world. Who can be the next congressperson here? Who can be the president of the United States? Always think about it. Think about it. Another example is a great leader of our time, or not our time, Dr. Martin Luther King. Did he have a 5-point plan of how he's going to change the world, or how he's going to change desegregated America? No. He had a dream. His speech was not about, let me give you this plan, how we're going to move forward. His dream was, I had a dream speech. That's where diversity, pluralism comes into play. When you can dream it, when you can believe it, you can make others believe it. That's why on that August sunny day, 250,000 people showed up. No internet, no Facebook, no Twitter, no chat rooms, no email, nothing available. But 250,000 people showed up on that hot summer day because they believed, because everyone believed. Because everyone believed together, they can make a better life. So we have to think about those things and really, really, really concentrate on the why. So what I'm trying to say today, or this morning, is really we have to change and think about what we need to do as we continue to grow, as we continue to develop, and really focus on that, on the reason why we exist, right? And as leaders, and what I talk to my employees about is really you have to develop into socially responsible leaders. What is socially responsible leaders, right? Am I doing something for my own paycheck or my bank account, or am I really doing something to develop myself, develop people around me, develop the community that I live in, or make an impact in the community that I live in, and then the world? And how do we do that, right? We have to, number one, care about each other. We absolutely have to care about each other. If we don't care about each other, if we don't care about our success together, there's no way I can be successful, or you can be successful as an individual. And how do we care about it? How do we show that care? Is by providing service. It's not about I'm going to do a job or I'm going to get a task done. It's about a service that I'm going to provide. I am a servant leader first. I'm going to go there and do something because I want to serve my employees, not because they are working for me. And then make sure integrity is a big part of what we do. Without integrity, none of us can be successful. We have to live, we have to care about our people, we have to serve, and we have to do everything we do. So I'm going to leave everyone with this quote, and I'm going to read this because it's a big paragraph, and there's no way I can memorize this. But it's so, I'll tell you a little bit back when I heard the quote. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemaker, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They are not found of rules. They have no respect for status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, or glorify them. But the only thing you can do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some see them as crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. It was an Apple commercial in 1997, right before Steve Jobs took over. And we all know what Apple's done to us. See, a lot of us carry that device. And a lot of us know what's an iPad. A lot of us know now, after Apple's innovation, after Apple pushing the limit so far, where books and paper is becoming obsolete, where it's about electric, it's about touchscreen. My sons, I have a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old. They don't understand the concept of a mouse. I give them a mouse and they're touching the screen. They don't understand the concept of a remote. They go in front of the TV and they're touching it. And that is not because someone said, oh, I think this is cool, let's come up with a touchscreen display. Because someone dreamed. And someone said, I can make a difference. That's when you can be a $468 billion company, and if you heard a few days ago, someone tweeted and just increased adds another $16 billion to their bank account. Okay, money comes as a result. So again, please don't think of this, don't think what you need to do as a destination. Don't think that I need to get something done, and when I get there, then I'll figure things out. Never think of it that way, because once you get to that destination, whatever that destination is, that's when we hit a hard stop. Always think of what we're doing, what we're about to do, as a journey. It needs to be a journey, as long as it's a journey going north. Understand that you'll have to make new turns, you'll have to make right turns and left turns. No issues there. But just remember, together, we have to go north, and we can make things happen. And true. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those inspirational words, Naveed. Very important messages about doing the right thing and being a good person, because no matter what you do, if you're not a good person underneath all that, it can come tumbling down, you have nothing to fall back on. Be a good person, and it's not just for yourself. Like they say, each one, reach one. You got to make it so you can reach back and help someone else. And I see some beautiful young faces here. I want you to stay the course like Congresswoman Johnson said. She said, those bad influences, don't let them sway you. You know how easy it can be to be caught up. We've heard it so cliche, the wrong path. Stay in the course, do the right thing. It's going to benefit you in the long run. You can be right here forever, or you can accelerate, climb to the top. It's all dependent I'd like to say one more thing about myself. Having grown up in all those different places and having no control, when you do have control, make the decisions that are good and right for you. I'm married to my junior high school sweetheart. We have 3 children. We married right out of high school and worked our way up. One of whom is a meteorologist in the Air Force who graduated high school early and joined the Air Force. We had to sign him in Detroit. He was so young. He's a certified meteorologist now and a member of the National Honor Guard. We contacted you to write a letter of recommendation for him, but we didn't end up needing you to write one, but you want to. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. She's there for you, if you need her. But this is all to help you, for you to aspire and be all that you can be for not just yourself, but for your family, for your neighborhood. I had nothing, went to school on a Pell Grant, like I said, with notebooks, had to work for free to get my foot in the door at the station to get that first job. That led to that second job and that third job, and then $250,000 a year in 25 in Los Angeles as an anchor for several years before coming back home to Dallas. So do what you got to do for you. Don't forget about those that are coming up behind you. Because now I send other kids to school with a scholarship program. I just had my first right here to say thank you. I'm going back to get my master's. I appreciate it. I couldn't have done it without you. So you do it so that someone else who couldn't have done it can also do it too. Okay? And Congresswoman Johnson, thank you so much for what you've done. This is the 7th annual Youth Southern University Dialogue. Thank you so much for having us here. We're just blessed to be a part of this. Thank you.